I'm out here testing the Alpinestars Andes version 3 suit, and I'm on the 1200GS. This is kind of a problem. The roots kind of came loose. It's been raining really heavy. Everything's very mucky, very soft, and now we've got a problem. Now, I am riding alone. I have no rescue, and the GS isn't set up with a winch. So I have to make a choice whether to turn around, which is the smart thing to do, or think maybe we have a lesson of opportunity here. I'm going to try to get over this log on the shallow side, but there are some challenges. Now, the height over here on this log isn't too bad. It's maybe 9 inches or so. The bigger issue is that this comes across the trail at a fairly steep angle. It's roughly 45 degrees, and I'm not able to get out into this area to cross this at a 90 degree. But this is really soft, and if I put a 500 plus pound motorcycle into this, it's going to turn to mush really fast. That leaves me with coming parallel to the track here, trying to come through this section. This is very soft and muddy. I'm going to have to try to come up just a little bit to the left so I don't sink. I'm going to try to hit this log about here. The idea is when I come into this part, I've got a small branch here. I'm hoping to get the tire kind of wedged up against that root a little bit so it doesn't kick out. Get the front end to come up and over. If I can get the front over and keep momentum, then I can push through. If I get hung up here, I'm probably going to be stuck, and this video is going to turn into a recovery video, not a riding technique video. This is going to be fun. Well, that didn't quite work out as planned. I had a pretty good idea that might be what would occur. I just didn't have the momentum, didn't have the confidence running quickly. I was afraid I was going to sink. And sure enough, as soon as I got into the mud, that back end dug down. That front end didn't have any, I couldn't get it light. When it hit that log, it just deflected all the way across. And now I'm stuck in a slight downhill position in very soft mud. Turns out this is a recovery video now. All right, let's see if we can make something of it. The bottom of this puddle is pretty solid, so instead of trying to drag the bike all the way out through the mud, and I'm kind of pointing this direction already, what I'm going to try to do is just get the bike and leverage it this way. I'm going to leave the panniers on. They're fairly light. That way I can get up in front of them and use them to wedge back and try to use my body. Also, I kind of have some ground here. Maybe if I can fill this up some. Put some material underneath it. If I get some twigs, some sticks, some different things, and possibly it can make it a little bit easier, and means I'm less likely to sink into the ground. We'll see how that works out for me. And once I get this downhill, I'm good to go. Make sure I'm in neutral. Yep, I'm good to go. So I have one foot up on the log, I have one down below, and what I'm doing is I'm pushing my hip into the bag. See if I can get any backward motion at all. Ah, shit, we are not in a pretty place. That front end is down over an edge, and that edge, let me take you over here, show you what I've got here. You see, let's see here. There you go. See down here, I'm down underneath the edge here on the mud. What I'm going to do is try to clean things out. so I'm not dragging the wheel uphill quite so much. Get down to some less muddy ground. Being slick isn't my problem now. It's the fact I'm 500 some odd pounds and trying to get this thing to move. Okay. Actually, maybe I will do, let's go to the back of the bike so I can use my body weight and nowhere. Okay, got about an inch. Got a stick on my right for my foot. My left foot is into a wedge. Turn that wheel back straight. Of course, every time I turn that wheel, it's digging in the mud. So let's try this again. Okay. Front of the bike is a little bit higher now. And the side stand is up, bike is balanced, and I'm not really that strong, so I'm trying to use as much motion as I can. Come on, baby. Okay. What's going on? All right, our back wheel is buried. Okay. So you dig a trench out under the back wheel. Okay. And I can't really... Okay. I'll let the bike rest on its own for a second. See, the more it rains, the deeper I'm getting. I'm just trying to prep the ground. Any recovery is only good as the preparation we do. And the front end now is also buried. Pulling back, but front wheel keeps turning. And it looks like I got a pretty good stick and log underneath it. Now I have no recovery tools with me. There we go. Now, try to keep the bike from moving. Wedge, come on. Yeah, there we go. Now wedge my foot in. There we go. And there we go. Now we're getting headway. Okay. Now, what's hanging me up? Not too hung up here. Again, my goal is just get over this edge down into the puddle. If I do that, I should be free. And there we go, mud. Keep that wheel going straight. There we go. One finger on the front brake so it doesn't get out of control. The other hand, I'm just using the crash bar up here as a leverage point. There we go. Wash off my hands here. Now the final point, I don't think I can really ride up onto that edge without it digging in. Normally I would use gravity, ride the bike up, and then use that back gravity when you let off the clutch and the brake, let the bike rotate and turn. In this case, I don't really have a good surface there, but as I mentioned, I'm relatively solid under here. So what I'm going to try to do is give myself some front end distance back as far as I can, and then let's see if I can pivot on the side stand at all, if it'll support the weight. And then There we go. Then turn that bike and point it the direction I need to go. Normally, I wouldn't take risk quite that significant if I'm out riding on my own, but I'm kind of looking for something, wanting to put the test or the suit through a test, and there's always opportunities to share. And although I didn't get to show you how to ride over the log, at least you can see the way I worked my way out. It's like most people, stop, make a plan, don't be in a rush. Once you start moving that bike, it's going to quagmire itself down inside. It's going to get really, really difficult to get out at that point, and you don't want to make things worse. And that's why you saw I dug a trench out of behind the back wheel. I dug the hill out from underneath the front tire. I started from the back where I could use body weight. I got a little bit of movement, and I had to switch to the side where I could use weight and leverage. And I was able to get my foot up on a piece of relatively solid, something I could wedge against, and then I was able to push it back down. But if you just get in a hurry, pick that bike up, try to drag it back out the way you came, it's not always going to be the best plan.